Okay, I wanted to do a short video on this utility vehicle I made a few years ago and talk about it and show you some of the features I built into it. It was a lot of fun. I designed it myself, and I looked for plans all over the internet, and I just couldn't find any plans for this type of vehicle, so I decided to go down to a dealer and measure one up and kind of use that as a starting point. So yeah, let's take a look at it. Here's a look at the front suspension setup. I went with the two shock absorbers because I found that one just was not strong enough. Of course, we got the brake pedal right there. I don't know if that red dot is going to show up on the video. It should. Accelerator pedal. And we've got dashboard, which includes tachometer. That's just a bike speedometer I fit on this very easily. It also works as a gas gauge because I know that I can get about 18 miles to a tank full of gas. You got the light switch, voltage meter, and then two LEDs. One of them tells me when my axle is locked up for two-wheel drive, and I'll go over that here in a minute. And then the other LED just tells me that my parking brake is on. We'll take a look at the parking brake. Right here, all this does is, see if I can do this by myself here. Push the brake, and then you lock it like that. And then you just push the brake pedal and it disengages. Battery. And we'll go around to the back. This bed, by the way, right here folds up out of the way, or lifts up out of the way for easy access to the engine. And just to look at the back suspension, two shocks again because one was just not cutting it. That is the equivalent of a Comet Series 500 clutch setup, like a CVT setup, and that works very well. It's a good clutch. And this right here is a good old Harbor Freight engine. That's a great motor. It's a 13 horsepower motor, electric start, and never had a bit of trouble with it. Worth every penny. I believe that was about $300 after a discount. Now, this whole setup here gives me more gear reduction. I didn't want this going fast. I wanted low-end power to climb hills and like that, and the only way I could figure to achieve that was to put that extra set of gears on there. So by doing that, I've got a low end of about maybe 2 miles an hour, 2-3 miles an hour. It'll crawl all the way up to 15 miles an hour top end. Here's the chains unit right here, is just a tensioner. And then I mentioned the axle lock. I'm going to get this camera set up and show you just how that works. Okay, so normally this unit is only driving in one-wheel drive. In other words, the power is only going to the left tire, and the reason I did that was because with such a wide track, I figured this thing would never turn a corner with a solid axle. And with that setup, I got pretty good traction, was fairly happy with it, but I wanted to figure out a way I could engage the right tire also in case the left one started slipping. So what I did is I came up with this system right here. And what you can't see is the fact that right inside of there, that's your axle right there running from one tire to the other. Right in there, the axle is actually cut in two, so that normally power would only be going to the left wheel, and right in here that would just be while your right wheel would just be freewheeling. But then when I want that little extra traction, what happens is, and I'll show you in a second here how that works, these two, this unit right here will slide in and engage with this unit, so that if this wheel starts slipping, it'll grab onto this and start sending power also to the right wheel. Now I'll go pull the axle lock lever and show you just how that engages. And it works great, very well. And that lever is in the cab, and I will show you where that is. It's actually right here. You pull that forward and that will engage my axle lock mechanism. So that's pretty much it. I figure I have about $2,000 into this. The most expensive components were the engine was about $300. The clutch transmission setup there was about $500. And then each one of these tires came mounted to the wheel, and they were $100 a piece. And yeah, I guess that's it. It was a lot of fun. I would encourage you to build one of these if you enjoy working with metal. It's just a shame that there aren't plans available for something like this on the internet. There's plans for go-karts, but I've never seen plans for this. I actually reached out to a company that sells go-kart plans and sent them pictures and offered to let them come measure it up and develop some plans, but I never heard from them. So yeah, give it a try. I hope you enjoyed this video.